Hello all, I am Priyanka and I have collaborated with Center for Economic and Social Good for Project Fly. I am one of the instructors for macroeconomics and today in this introductory session we'll be discussing about one of the most important topics of macroeconomics, that is national income. So in the next 15 to 20 minutes we'll be covering the following topics, that is national income definition, different concepts of national income and methods to calculate national income. So let us start. Now, what is national income? National income of any country means the aggregate value of all the final goods and services produced by that country during its financial year. It is valued in terms of money. Now, here, what do we mean by final goods and services? There are two types of goods, that are final goods and intermediate goods. Final goods are those goods which are meant to be directly consumed by the consumers. These goods are not going to be further processed in any production process. Now, to explain this better, let us take an example. Let us take the example of milk. Milk can be used in two ways. Either it can be consumed directly by the consumers, or it can be further used to make dairy products such as ghee, butter, etc. So, when the milk is consumed directly by the consumer, it is a final good. But when the same milk is used for making other dairy products or into any other different product, it becomes an intermediate good. And in that case, the final product which is made, maybe butter, ghee, or something else, that becomes the final good in that case. So, whenever we calculate national income, we'll consider only the final goods and services. We will not consider intermediate goods. So, in short, one can say that national income of any country is the total amount of income that is earned by it through various economic activities going on in the country. Okay, now it includes wages earned by laborers, interest earned from capital, rent earned from land, or profit earned from entrepreneurship. When we say labor in this case, labor means anyone who is providing their services for any production process, maybe a worker who is constructing a building or an IT professional working in a multinational company. So in short, national income determines the economic performance of a country. So why do we study national income? So the first reason to study national income is that it would help to measure the size of the economy and determine the level of an economic performance for that particular year. Now, how will this help? This will further help the government to plan different development policies and make different budgets according to that. Now, when it comes to businesses, by analyzing national income, they can know the structure and composition of the national income in terms of various sectors, like how much of the income is coming from which sector and how this is varying over a period of time. So, with the help of that, they can fix their targets and make their investment accordingly. Through national income, we can also trace the trend or speed of the economic growth in relation to the previous year. Or we can also compare the growth of our nation with other nations and make comparison with the people's living standard. Okay. So now let us move to the concepts of national income. There are different concepts of national income, and people generally get to tend to get confused between these concepts. Like what is GDP, what is GNP? So we will clear all our doubts. Let us start with GDP, that is gross domestic product. Now, gross domestic product is the total market value of all the final goods and services produced within the country during a year. Now, it includes total value of goods and services generated within the domestic territory of the country, irrespective of who creates that value. Maybe the value is created by foreigners living in the country or by the citizens living in the country. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is that the value should be generated within the domestic territory of the country. The formula for GDP is C plus I plus G plus X minus M. Here C denotes consumption goods. That means the consumer expenditure on services and durable and non-durable goods. Investment goods is denoted by I. Here, investment means any investment done by any individual or business. Suppose a person has bought a house or a land. He has done an investment that is going to add to his income. So we have included that also. G is denoted for government purchases, which means the government expenditure on final goods and services. X here means exports and M here means imports. Now we have subtracted imports because all the other things, that is consumption, investment, government expenditure and exports, are adding money to the country. But when we are importing something, we are sending our money outside of that country. That is why here we are subtracting imports. Now let us move to the next concept, that is gross national product. Here I have done a small mistake. In place of GNP, I have mentioned GDP. So let us ignore that. So GNP is the market value of all the final goods and services produced in a year by the residents of the country, within the domestic territory as well as abroad. Now, when we will calculating GDP, one thing was for sure that it should be the value should be created inside the domestic territory, no matter by whom it is created. But when we are calculating GNP, the value should be created by the citizens of the country, no matter where they are living. If they are working in India and they are gaining an income, that is also fine. If they are living outside of the country and working outside and they are generating income, that is also going to be included. What we are going to exclude is the value generated by foreigners living inside our domestic territory. So the basic difference between gross domestic product and gross national product is when we consider gross domestic territory, we'll consider the value generated within the domestic territory of the country, and when we will consider gross national product, we will consider the value generated by all the nationals or citizens of the country, irrespective of their location. So the formula for GNP is equal to GDP plus net factor income from abroad. Now, what is net factor income from abroad? It refers to the difference between the factor income received from the rest of the world and the factor income paid to the rest of the world. Now, here factor income from abroad is the income earned by the normal residents of the country from the rest of the world in form of wages, salary, rent, interest, profits, etc. That that is what I have explained earlier. That if a person is living outside the country and is working in a multinational company, he's getting salary. That we are going to add in GNP. Or if he has set up a business in that particular country, he's gaining profits. That also we are going to add in GNP. Now, factored income to abroad is the factor income paid to the normal residents of other countries for their factor services within the domestic territory. Now, similarly, if a foreigner is living in India and he is working in a multinational company or any company in India, he is getting the salary. So that we are going to deduct from gross national product. Okay. Now let us move to the next concept, that is net domestic product. So net domestic product is the net output of a country's economy during a year. So when we calculate net domestic product, we subtract depreciation from GDP. Now what happens is, like some of the countries' equipments, these equipments wear out or become obsolete each year due to the production process. Now suppose a business has bought a machine for 1 lakh rupees. Now, after some time, with each passing day, the value of that machine is going to be depreciated. Obviously, if that business would want to sell that machine to someone else, they would not be able to sell it for 1 lakh rupees. They have to sell it for some amount less, maybe 75,000. Okay, so the value that is 25,000, 1 lakh minus 75,000, 25,000, the value has depreciated of that machine. So when we will calculate net domestic product, we'll also consider the value of the depreciation for the products. That is why the formula for net domestic product is GDP minus depreciation. Now we'll move to the next concept, that is net national product. Now net national product means the total value of goods produced and services provided in a country during 1 year after depreciation of the capital goods has been allowed for. The similar reason we are calculating NNP is the formula of NNP is GNP minus depreciation. Now here is one more concept, that is net national product at factor cost. NNP at factor cost is the total of income payment done to the factors of production. Now there are two concepts. All the previous concepts which we were discussing were calculated at market price, and this net national product is calculated at factor cost. We also previously discussed net national product, but that was at market price. So what's the difference between factor cost and market price? Now, factor cost is the total amount which the manufacturer of a product has to invest in the production of that good. Okay, and it doesn't include the indirect taxes or the subsidies imposed on that product. But the market price is the final cost at which the manufacturer sells the good to the consumers. Whenever we buy a product, there is always GST included in that. Okay. That GST doesn't go to the manufacturer, it goes to the government. Okay, so the cost incurred by the manufacturer to produce that product is included in factor cost, and the final price which we as consumers give to buy that product is calculated at market price. Now, you'll ask that question, that where do we include the profit that the manufacturer gains? Because if a manufacturer is selling a product, obviously he'll have some profit also. That profit is included in factor cost. Anything other than indirect taxes and subsidies are included in factor cost only. Okay. Now let us move to the next concept, and that is personal income. Personal income is the total money income received by the individuals and households of a country from all the possible sources before direct taxes. Whether you are a working professional working for any company or you are a businessman, you always have to pay taxes, right? So the personal income is the income which that individual is getting before paying those taxes. And once these taxes are deducted and the income left with the individuals for their final consumption, that income is called as disposable income. This disposable income is the income which we generally say in hand income. That is the money left with the individual to spend or use or invest or do anything. So the formula for disposable income is personal income minus direct taxes. Now what is per capita income? Per capita income is the average income of a individual in the country. So how we will calculate per capita income? We'll divide the total national income of that country by the total national population of the country. So that is how we will calculate per capita income. Now, let us move to methods to calculate national income. There are generally three methods to calculate national income, that is income method, value added method, and expenditure method. So we'll start with income method. Under this method, national income is measured as a flow of factor income from all the economic activities. Now, generally, there are four factors of production, that is labor, capital, land, and entrepreneurship. Labor gets wages and salaries, capital gets interest, land gets rent, and entrepreneurship gets profit as their remuneration. Now, there is one more category of factor payment, and that is called as mixed income. What is mixed income? Mixed income is the income earned by self-employed people. Suppose I am an owner of a business, and I'm also holding a position in that business, maybe a CEO. So I will get salary for that also, but the salary which I will get will be from the profit which I'm earning from the business. So that is called as mixed income. But we have to consider one thing as that only those income earned and received for producing goods and for rendering services are to be counted. That is, any activity or any income which is earned after being a part of a production process is considered to be included. Otherwise, it's not included. Like transfer payments such as old age pensions or widow pensions, unemployment benefit, etc. These should not be counted. Why? Because these incomes are received without contributing to the production. Okay. So now the formula for national income is rent plus wages plus interest plus profit plus mixed income. In short, any sort of income earned by any activity which is contributing to the production is included in national income by income method. Now let us move to the next method, that is value added method. A value added method is also called as output method or production method. Now, in this method, national income is measured as a flow of goods and services. Okay, so we calculate money value of all the final goods and services produced in the economy during a year. Now, we have already explained what is the meaning of final goods and intermediate goods. So, the formula for national income by value added method is NDPFC, that is net domestic product at factor cost plus net factor income from abroad. So the last method is expenditure method. In this method, national income is measured as a flow of expenditure. GDP is the sum total of the private consumption expenditure, government consumption expenditure, gross capital formation, and net exports. One man's income is another man's expenditure. Therefore, national income can be arrived at by adding the total expenditure of an individual and business firms during that year on goods and services. Okay, so we have already discussed the formula for national income by expenditure method, that is C plus G plus I plus NX, or there we had discussed like X minus M. So these are the three methods to calculate national income, and whenever we calculate national income by income method or expenditure method or value added method, the value should come same for the same set of inputs. So with this, we come to the end of our session. I hope you enjoyed the session. If you have any doubts, please mention it in the comments. Thank you.